Hi everybody, hope you are having a nice day. And today is a very special one because we are celebrating International Baboon Day. This festivity was made up by a friend of mine from New Zealand and my person, and it was created to talk about the conservation, to raise awareness, to celebrate beautiful baboons like Chrissy, who is there. Also, it is very important, and I'm very happy to welcome Stacy Gunderson from Animal Tracks in California and Chrissy the baboon, because this is our first video or interview with a real animal. And having a baboon is actually amazing for me. Welcome, Stacy. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
My pleasure, Fabrizio. I have to say thank you for having Animal Tracks on your show. I want to introduce my beautiful friend, Chrissy. Let's see, I'll try to Vanna White her in my video. Chrissy, the African baboon, and she's actually a cross between a Hamadryas baboon and an olive baboon. And right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the camera around here, and I am going to show you, sorry, let me flip the camera. It's very bright here. Can you see all the sun?
By the
There
way,
we go.
actually, crosses between different species of baboon are not only seen in captivity in some cases, but also in the wild. There are several studies in Africa of olive baboons hybridizing with Hamadryas, yellow, and Guinea baboons. That's a very interesting topic to talk about. But today,
Yes.
we have Chrissy. So what can you tell us about Chrissy, Stacy?
Well,
How is her behavior? And, well, she's playing there.
Chrissy here is about 16 years old, and she lives in California. She was raised with two other baboons, and she was part of the movie industry. And so when her career in the movie industry was over, she needed someplace to live. And so her trainer was a very good friend of mine, and she came to live here. And Chrissy is a full-grown adult. She was an adult when we got her, and she was not mistreated by the movie industry. You could not take a baboon who was mistreated and turn them into this kind animal that you see before you today. So it is also a myth that just because an animal is in captivity that it's mistreated. Chrissy is just on a leash, and this is her home. Let me just show you. So we live in the beautiful hills of Agua Dulce, and this is our compound. And her baby is waiting in the play cage, which we're going to show you in just a little bit. And she is now having some goodies, some lunch. So we had pumpkin earlier, and we have some peanuts in here, and we've got some toys. These are fun toys for her to play with. And when she's bored with that, we'll take you in and actually show you her relationship with the baby. So Chrissy's job is to represent all baboons, which is why I'm so excited about your Baboon Day, is she has been meeting the public, and the public is not allowed to touch her. We don't dress her up. We don't do tricks. The public gets to see her and feel her strength and see her beautiful face from a distance. So it's not like Chrissy has to tolerate people touching her like a circus animal. So literally, if you were here today, we would sit you at this picnic table, and Chrissy would just do what she's doing now, and you would just get to watch. Now, she's always wanted to be a mother. And so we have a baby macaque that she has had mothering classes, and we're going to actually take you now. So Carrie, if you want to undo her leash, we're going to take you in and show you her baby. So come on over here with me, and we are going to go into this really fun monkey cage. Now, our big thing here at Animal Tracks is monkeys should never live in our house, ever. A monkey has a superpower. They have a super butt. And their job is to grow the world's rainforest by eating fruit, breaking down the seed with their body, and then when they go to the bathroom, number 2, they drop seeds all over the canopy. So here comes Chrissy. Chrissy's going to be taken off leash, and now she's loose, so that's her baby. And the baby is a macaque, and the macaque is actually a girl. Now, the reason I tell you that is you might catch a glimpse where you think maybe this was a boy monkey, but in reality, the crab-eating macaque can show as masculine if you were to take the diaper off. So that could be confusing for people. If you don't know if you have a boy or a girl monkey, you should not have a monkey.
Exactly.
Because they're so intelligent and they love families, it's really hard on monkeys to sit in your backyard and wait for you to come home from work or school. Let me show you the baby.
Well,
so we're going to take you in. and we're going to let you watch them play. All right? Thank you.
Amazing. Well,
Okay.
actually, Stacy, I really liked some points you talked about. Like, for example, that having an exotic animal, or in this case, a monkey as a pet, is a bad idea. That these animals, okay, in this case, well, she isn't rescued at all. You rehomed it, but that it should be treated like a wild animal. You
Yes.
can't keep it in a home. You can't keep it living like a human. You need to give her space and give her what she needs. And that's actually one of the best things that we can highlight in these interviews, that wild animals should never be pets. They should be, well, what they are, wild animals.
Yes.
And actually, the behavior that is having Chrissy with Bindi, well, actually, for I don't know if you said it, but for my viewers, the name of the baby crab eating macaque is Bindi.
Yes.
Well,
Bindi
that
the cat.
behavior is very interesting to see, because okay, they are from different species, and now she is practically having kind of a relation with the baby and like raising it, you know what I mean, like caring for it. Hi,
I'm going to show you what's going on. The
Chris.
baby has climbed into my shirt, and Chrissy's asking the baby to come out.
Oh my god.
Here's the baby. Hi, baby.
Oh, oh,
The
oh my
baby.
god, she's inside you. uh hi. Oh god.
Turn it back around. Okay, there's her baby.
Oh
There you go.
wow.
So the
Oh,
baby
that's super
is
cute.
at the terrible twos. The baby just wants to run and play and destroy and climb. And Chrissy is that mama who's just like, when are you going to take a nap? I'm feeling tired. I need some mother time. I need some alone time. Hey, can we talk about that behind that Chrissy has right now while we're talking? Can we show the behind? Okay, so let's look at this behind. So it is specially made for baboons. Okay, so let's look at this part. This is called an ischial and that is the part Chrissy would sit on if she was on the hot rocks or anything sharp. And then her behind once a month would swell to the size of a basketball. And that is a bat signal to the male baboon that this would be a good time to get married, possibly have babies. And then last but not least, when it's big and swollen and messy, the sun is very important for killing bacteria. So when it's big and swollen and it's messy, the sun will cook off the bacteria. And that's why they have the bald behind that everybody asks, why does a monkey have that?
That's
Thank you, Chrissy.
also a very interesting thing. And today I was reading about baboons, like to be prepared for the interview. And actually I read about it, that when they have swelling in their butt, when they are when they have swelling, is because they are ready, to copulate, or are in the, I don't know how to pronounce that word.
They're in estrus. Yeah, they're in estrus.
Estrus, yeah. And then that's when the male monkeys start fighting, because they want that female. And when they have more swelling, I believe, the male monkeys like them the more. So well, yeah. And as you said, she never had offspring, right? So
Correct.
probably
So we don't.
just like that with Bindi, right?
Right. Our sanctuary doesn't breed animals. So when people get caught with pets, we're registered with the state of California. And when California finds somebody with a monkey, then they will call us and say, hey, do you have any room? We have another monkey that needs a home. And then if we do have room, they'll bring that monkey here. And so this monkey, as you can see, is a handful. She is going to live for 40 years, 40. And she is 2 now. So if you want to know how old she is mentally compared to humans, you would double her age, because an average human lives about 80 years. So she's like a 4-year-old, and Chrissy is she's going to be 17 this year. So that's like a 34-year-old person.
34. Wow.
So that's the perfect age for to be a mama. You're mature, you have a good brain on you. Chrissy's very, very gentle. You know, it's funny, they have this occipital brow. This is what keeps the sun out of their eyes, because they're not tree-dwelling monkeys, they're ground-dwelling monkeys. And if she were angry, she would do this. So it's very easy to see when a baboon is upset. It's very easy to see when they're happy. They actually laugh and giggle. And you know, one of the things we tell people, because it's such a global place now, is that when you smile at a monkey, you're actually offending the monkey. So teeth, let me just show you really fast here. So you go to the jungles and you're like, ah, monkey, I love monkeys so much. And you show that monkey your teeth. Whoa, she does hair. Ow! And so you can leave it there. She can stay. Okay, so when you smile at a monkey, you're showing your weapons, and that will really upset a monkey. So what you want to do is you want to hide your teeth. You want to lip smack, and that is love. And the monkey will actually be very kind to you. So you want to tell the monkey that you speak monkey. Oh, look, the monkey robbed me. I'm going to show you. I have this great spray in my pocket that I use for some of the animals, and she ripped it out of my pocket and stole it. And then she just, yeah, she dropped it back there. Woo! So this is their flying car. You know what they want to do? I don't know about in Panama, but here in the U.S., they're starting to bring back the drive-in, where you sit in your car and you watch movies. And so we're going to hang a movie screen for the monkeys, and they're going to get to watch monkey movies.
Oh my God. You know that regarding what you said about the occipital that protects them from, and the smiles and all that stuff, when we first started the video, I really liked that. It was very funny. I didn't expect it at all. But Chrissy was doing like that, you know, with the like something.
Oh, yeah, she was showing you her, she was doing this thing like that. Yeah.
Oh my God. And now that you say that it is when they are angry, I'm not so really sure that that was that funny. Well, at least if I see it in the wild or in a baboon, I know that I have to take my distance. Regarding the teeth,
Always.
I believe that, well, baboons use their teeth, you know, like not a weapon, but, you know, when you see a baboon like doing this with their jaw, that could mean that they are probably trying to attack you, or not at all, but, you know, like threatening you. Like, I show you my teeth, stay away. I have, you know, stop.
Yes. So they have multiple reasons for doing that. They can be nervous. It can be what's called a fear grin. It can be outright aggression. I'm trying to put Chrissy more in the sunshine. But you know what? I think we'll go back out onto the table because it's too dark in here. Don't you agree?
Okay, no, where Chrissy is most comfortable, and you too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, let's leash up both of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to take them out. We're going to leash up both of them, and we're going to let them come out and sit in the sunshine, because this cage is really difficult. It's fun in here, and we cleaned it up beautifully this morning. Look at the mess they've already made. Look at the destruction. They've got tractors, and they've got a toy box, and they've got a pool. And what's funny is this monkey is aquatic. So this macaque is a crab-eating macaque from Thailand, and she actually swims in this little pool. We put a bunch of like sangria fruit in it, and she goes swimming. Now, she also pees in the pool, so you don't want to drink her sangria because it's got a hint of pee in it. And then they've got a castle. Normally, they have a school desk in here, but it's really set up just so that the monkeys can just play and do whatever they want to do. And right now, I have a monkey right here in my face.
Exactly.
That's what monkey butt.
I was going to say that it looks like a mini playground.
Yes, and that's what we want. You know, we're kind of a summer camp for these monkeys. Now, normally these monkeys would live in the equator. I tell people, if your body is the earth, your head is the North Pole, your feet are the South Pole, and your belt is the equator. And that's where you're going to find these monkeys. And it's very, very hot there. So they're going to, oh, you almost smashed me, girl. They're going to wake up and they're going to have to find food and calories as fast as they can before it gets too hot. And then, let me come out with Chrissy. Will you do Chrissy first? Oh, can I have her? Will you let me out? Look, Carrie locks me in the cage. Now, the reason the cage has a lock on it is because if these animals get loose and wind up at my neighbor's house, the state of California can actually put me in jail. So I have to be very careful with these animals to make sure that they don't become a nuisance. Come here, Booney. Come over here, love. Okay, so we're gonna wait for the baby to get leashed up, and then we're gonna go out and have some fun. We have a trampoline that Chrissy plays on. So these monkeys don't live where it's very hot, and so they get to play, and they don't have to worry about calories because we put food in their cage for them, and they don't have to worry about cleaning their house or making a nest because we do that for them. We keep them warm at night, so we're really a summer camp for monkeys. They can actually get bored in captivity if we're not careful. So that's why we have all these fun things. It's not to make them human-like, it is to actually keep them from getting bored. So now that we have this crazy baby on a leash, we're gonna step out. This is gonna be a fun recording for you. Yeah. So
You know,
Chrissy is very, hey Chrissy, you wanna see if there's any present? This is our enrichment bucket.
took the baby. Chrissy took her in the leg, like, what are you doing to my baby? Why did you took it? And it's very
Yes.
interesting, actually. Also,
Yeah, she always
what
has
you
an eye
said
on the baby.
about yeah, the climate. Actually, I believe that where you live in Agua Dulce, the climate must be hot or somewhat hot related to the equator. For example, here in the Agua Dulce I live, yeah, people, it is a very funny coincidence, but Animal Tracks Inc. is in Agua Dulce, California, and where I live, it's called Agua Dulce, Panama. So here in Agua Dulce, it is very hot. You know, we almost don't have rain. Today it is raining, but because of Hurricane Iota that is passing through Central America. But how's the climate in Agua Dulce, California? Is it seemingly hot, or like a climate that baboons in Africa would adapt to or would live comfortably in?
You know, it is very similar where with heat and being a dry heat to Africa for the baboons. But we have 19 different primates here. And we also have things like capuchin monkeys who would come from the jungles of South America. So the monkeys some of them do require dry heat and some do require humidity. The one thing that a lot of the monkeys here don't like, the monkeys from South America, is the cold. So can you hold her for a second, Carrie? I'm going to show you what we've created here in our barn area here. Is we have created this beautiful primate room, and this is where we can bring animals in at night. We have an armadillo that sleeps in here and a paralyzed lemur that sleeps in here, and we can bring the monkeys in with a heater and an air conditioner and keep those monkeys warm, because if you leave them outside, they can actually lose their tails to frostbite.
Yeah.
So another reason why they don't want you to get these animals as pets is if you didn't know that, these poor animals would suffer. You put them in your backyard and leave them, they wouldn't fare very well. The number one problem we have with exotic animals as people's pets is their diets. So let's talk about these monkeys. They love grasshoppers and earthworms and moths and all kinds of stuff. That's their protein, eggs and nuts and insects. And one of the things that animals who eat insects need is zinc and selenium. And you can't buy insects at your grocery store. So these animals will get a shortage of really important vitamins and nutrients. So if you want to put the baby away, Carrie, feel free, because then we can all hold the camera still, because the little maniac is going back to her cage. Bye, Maniac. We named her after
Bye,
Bindi Irwin.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Why did you inspire in naming the mini macaque as Bindi?
Well, we love Steve Irwin and we love his whole family, and we're so impressed with his daughter and his son. So if we get a boy monkey, we're going to name him Robert, and we named her Bindi after Bindi Irwin. And we're hoping that one day they come to Animal Tracks, because we're all about conservation just like they are. We just do it a little different. Zoos have different regulations than sanctuaries, and we can't get a zoo permit. So if they take away sanctuaries, what would we do with all these animals that aren't perfect, that can't live in zoos?
Exactly. And actually, what is important of what you say is that either way, if you're a sanctuary and they are a zoo, both are doing a great work for conservation and for animals. You are providing a home for animals that, well, that come from different situations, like being pets, uh, like do you have native animals too, right? Like rescued from the wild because if they were orphaned, etc.
Yeah, so look, we have a wild raven right here. The wild animals love this place because there's food everywhere. And believe it or not, that wild raven catches rodents. And rodents can be a real problem for sanctuaries and zoos because we always have food out for the animals. So I'll give you a
Yeah.
quick walk around and show you. We have things like armadillos from South America, and we have sugar gliders and marmosets. We have wolf hybrids. We have kangaroos. We have emus. Let's go see the emus. They're right over here. Come over here, love.
By the way, while you make us watch the emus, what can you tell us about the history of animal tracks? How it started, since when you are working with them, and well, what's the story behind this amazing sanctuary?
Well, I will happily tell you. So, I was a movie animal trainer for many, many years here in California, in Hollywood. And I worked at Universal Studios Hollywood for a man named Gary Giroux. And I wanted to be Jane Goodall. I've always had a thing for primates. And so, Gary Giroux had chimpanzees and orangutans. And so, I went to work for him for about 17 years. And I got to travel the world doing movies like Homeward Bound 2 and Zeus and Roxanne and Secondhand Lions and Garfield, all kinds of movies. And then I got married and had two beautiful children. And at that time, a friend of ours was running this sanctuary and she had to give it up. She wasn't making enough money. And you have to have 10,000 hours experience with each species in order to take it over. And my husband and I had the 10,000 hours. So we went through a huge permitting process and we became a nonprofit. And now we have about 66 animals and about 37 species, and we educate the public. And it's different. It's not a petting zoo. You don't get to come here and put your hands on the animals and make the animals feel uncomfortable. Animals really don't like strangers touching them. They love their family touching them, but they don't like strangers that they've just met putting their hands all over them. And so that's what we want to share. You know, I'm 52 years old, and when I grew up, you went to the circus, and in the circus, animals performed, and that's why people like them. But
Mm,
we want you to fall in love with this emu because it's an emu, not because it does tricks, but because it's
exactly.
beautiful
Because
and
it's
it does
beautiful,
something.
because it has so many interesting things to talk about. And well, what else do you want? I think that animals shouldn't be doing tricks in 21st century. Animals shouldn't be exotic, animals shouldn't be handled at all, like imagine that emu, because there have been cases in petting zoos, and imagine that emu being touched by strangers every day, like,
Yeah,
oh no, if the emu feels stressed, if the emu doesn't want, oh no, he still needs to be, touched by people because that's what brings the money. And that shouldn't be, actually. That's why I really like what you do, because apart from being a sanctuary, you set up the rules straight and clearly, like that are Patagonian Maras. Yeah.
yes, this is a Patagonian Mara. I didn't want to interrupt you because I agree with everything you were saying.
Well, and yeah, to be sorry, I am super excited to see all these animals. Patagonian Maras, are like, are I didn't expected them to look like that in real life. Uh, I thought that they look like a mix between a little deer and a bunny or a rabbit. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree. I like to tell people they're jackalopes. Do you know what a jackalope is?
Or actually, not really.
It's a made up creature like Bigfoot, and it has horns and it has a bunny face. And I tell people I like to fib and tease. And I say, oh, this is a
Oh,
jackalope. But in reality, it's a Patagonian Mara, which very few people know about. And so we are a Noah's Ark with all these different animals. And so we have something for everybody, whether you're little or big, to teach you about.
incredible. You know, now with you haven't told me, you haven't told me like a big part of the history. But with all you have told me, of you have convinced me that the work you do is essential, that the work you do is doing a greater good for the community, for the animals, for the education of the people. And actually, I'm very happy that, well, that you accepted the opportunity and that I asked you to have like an interview to talk about these animals, because it is not only the baboons that benefit from your sanctuary. It is 37 other species, 66 different animals. And simply, I just want to tell my viewers that if you donate, I think that this video is enough to know that it will be to a amazing cost, to an incredible, wonderful. There's so many adjectives to describe this sanctuary, and that the work they are doing is providing a safe haven for different animals that from one way or another suffered, well, not suffered, but needed a home, and they provided it. So, continuing, uh,
I
Stacy.
would love to. So this beautiful girl laying here in the shade, she's way back there. Her name is Kiva, and she is part coyote, wolf, and dog. And so she is not fit to live in our home. You know, a wolf is rather regal, and a wolf has a lot of rules, and they're rather secretive. And a dog has been, captive for 10,000 years and loves people. But a coyote is very survival minded. And so this particular dog, actually, because she's so many different things, can become a coyote, a wolf, or a dog in a second. And so that's not good because people treat her like a dog, and a coyote does not want to be treated like a dog. This big fella is part RT, 70% Arctic Wolf, 30% German Shepherd, and he was in Arkansas, and he was eating chickens. And so he went onto a wolf website, and we went and flew to Arkansas, which is halfway across the United States, and picked him up and drove him home. And now he's our big daddy. He's only 2 years old, and he's our big daddy wolf. He too is a hybrid. And then we have his girls. So here we have the girl wolves. That's Danny, and she's Timber Wolf. Hi, my love. And what we really want to push is we don't want people putting wolves in their backyard. First of all, that really makes it hard for your neighbors because wolves don't like kitty cats, they don't like small children, they don't like small dogs. It's a giant predator. All four of these guys were living in neighborhoods. And so our big push here is a wolf can run 100 miles in a single day. They have a third ridge on their molar for bone cracking. They can leap tall buildings in a single bound, and they
So,
only like some people. So they should not be our pets.
so you have a coyote, wolf and dog hybrid, a wolf and German Shepherd hybrid, and the last two were were pure wolves.
Actually, no. So they two are hybrids. We just don't know what they're mixed with. So she's a timber wolf cross. So she's timber wolf and some sort of dog. And this is her daughter. She was living in an apartment in Los Angeles, and they had her have babies. And this is her baby.
Oh,
And so that's our big push is we don't want people to think that it's a good idea to have a wolf in your apartment in Los Angeles. It's a
exactly.
good idea to have a wolf in Idaho running wild. And
But
then
not
let's see if
having
these
it in an
beauties.
apartment in a big city. And I I have a Siberian Husky, and when I saw them, they look like so alike and at the same time so different because, well, at least I know that my dog is a dog. But in this
Yes.
case, this wolf, and that's another of the thing that people should know before acquiring or before thinking about buying a hybrid wolf or, dog and wolf hybrid, that, like you said, in a moment, he could be a dog, but in the other, he could be a wolf, and, in there, the things would be pretty bad, actually. Yeah,
Yes. And that's when somebody gets hurt. And do you know who pays the price? The wolf hybrid will
the
be
wolf
put to
hybrid.
sleep.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so not fair.
And actually, in states like Colorado, uh, Idaho, Ohio, there are many cases of poor hybrid wolves. Why poor? Because it isn't their fault that they were bred. It isn't their fault that they were, you know, kinda of created just to be a pet, and they are euthanized if no home is found. They are many things happen to them. It's very sad. It's one of those species. It's actually not a species, but one of those animals like Bengal cats,
Yes,
Savannah cats,
Bengal cats.
that they are
Uh-huh.
also hybrids between a cat and a serval, or a cat and a no,
Yes, an Asian
terrible.
jungle cat. Yes.
And regarding what you said about, uh, I just forgot about it. Sorry for
About
that. Forgot.
Well, let me bring up one more thing while we're talking about this, why we don't want these animals in our home. You know, we worry about native animals. So we have skunks and possums and raccoons and foxes. And one of the things that happens here, like if you go to the Grand Canyon, there's signs everywhere that say, please don't feed the squirrels. They can give you bubonic plague. And people are trying to get pictures for their Instagram and they're feeding the squirrels. The second a squirrel bites somebody, they're going to euthanize all the squirrels they can find because they don't know which squirrel was the one that bit. And so literally the agencies that oversee the wild animals there will put all of the animals they can find to put, to sleep. So we don't want people feeding native animals out of their backyard. Look, Chrissy's here to see her friend. Here's her friend. This is our paralyzed lemur.
She's a white and black roofed lemur, right?
Yes, this is a black and white rough lemur. I was trying to get her to sing for you, but she's so because she's paralyzed, we use CBD oil on her, which has no THC, and it really helps with her pain. So she was somebody's pet, and another lemur bit her in the hamstring. Do you know where your hamstring is? Between
Mm,
your thigh and your knee, and it's that big muscle on the back of your leg, and it was severed, and it went up into her behind and down to her ankle, and so she has a perfectly good skeleton. She just has no muscle to work it. So she is
God.
also a primate. And we talk about global things that are happening to Madagascar. Now, I love zoos like the San Diego Wild Animal Park, or San Diego Zoo, and the Sydney Zoo. They're doing things where if we figured things out, they could actually repopulate Madagascar with healthy animals. And I know people really are against zoos, but that'd be like being against hospitals. Where do you go when you're sick? So if we got rid of all zoos and then we decided we were going to stop deforestation and stop pollution, we would not be able to re-inhabit those places with animals.
By the way, now that you mention it, and now that we are talking about lemurs, people, it is possible. It is not completely true. I already talked with them, and we're kind of coordinating, but we are not sure if we are gonna have the interview. But possibly an interview about Madagascar and lemurs could be
Good.
brewing and could be coming soon. Yeah. So stay tuned. I just have to wait to if they agree or if we get to a point and do it. But yeah, regarding what you said, now you have a lot of species in the sanctuary of primate species like black and white roofed lemur, olive
Marmosets,
Hamadryas baboon
capuchins.
hybrid, crab-eating macaque, the pygmy marmosets. Yeah, that I were talking about wolf hybrids, and then there was the pygmy marmosets, beautiful little monkeys, and well, going back to the baboon topic a bit, what what can you tell us that makes Chrissy special for you? You know,
Let me
like
show you.
like
Everything about Chrissy is special. So
of course
one, that
everything,
she's
but
so powerful and that she allows people to be a part of her life. And right now the monkeys are having a groom session. So a capuchin monkey who Chrissy has loved for a very long time is grooming her through the fence. And so Chrissy gets to go in and spend time. We have 7 capuchins, and Chrissy has mothered all of them.
wow.
And so look at her. She loves getting groomed. I'm going to go in a little closer so you can see what Squirt is doing. Squirt's grooming her through the fence.
So
And
actually, Chrissy is like your foster mom in the sanctuary. Like if, for example, an orphan primate baby comes and if she bonds with him with it, then you are going, to let her interact with it.
correct. So we will go and take care of the monkey, and then Chrissy becomes a big part of their life. So Chrissy is very maternal. I haven't met a primate yet who's treated correctly, who's not mistreated. who's not a good mama. It's in their DNA to be family members. And so this monkey that I'm going to show you in here, can you open that for me, Carrie? I'm sorry. I'm going to show you one of my capuchin monkeys who is also a universal mother, and she's the one that was grooming Chrissy. So they're both mamas. So we've got aunties, uncles, brothers, cousins. None of them are related genetically. They've all created these families. You can bring her in.
And
thank you.
and
So this is where the capuchins live, and Chrissy gets to come visit them, and you'll notice we have these benches. And so all the monkeys get to come out and go into each other's houses. Now there's strict rules for us. The monkeys have to have a certain size cage, but these monkeys as a sanctuary can come out and do fun stuff. So they've got playhouses, and this is Squirt. And Squirt is a cross between a tufted and we think a weeper capuchin monkey. And she's gonna do my nails for me. Isn't that sweet of her? And if we were mean to her, she would be mean back. So the first thing she wants to do is come take care of her mama. So I'm her mother, and Carrie and I are the main mamas here. I'm her mother, and then she's learned how to be kind and compassionate, and she's kind and compassionate with other monkeys. So we have over here, where's Macy May? Macy May's in her house. We have Marley over here. So these are some of our houses. We have warm houses for them with doors on them. They turn on heat at night. So he just went in his house. You see that? And then over here, we have the baby. Somebody got caught with a baby white face. And this is her auntie. So her auntie is grooming her right now. And this baby and Bindi, the macaque, have grown up as sisters. So you know they're not genetically related, but they have grown up as sisters. So they live in family groups and they take care of each other.
And that's something that makes primates special. That, well, before us, before the humans, one of the animals' world's most known hierarchies and most important one is the one from baboons and several other primate species. That, for example, like living in a group of 15 to 100 individuals and having your hierarchy, like who are the high-ranking females, the low-ranking, everybody in the colony has a ranking in the group. And that's something that is not only seen in baboons, also, as in this case, in the capuchins, we can see it in lemurs, and I'm really impressed. These animals, apart from not being related, have made that the big bond to be like a family, to be a colony. That's simply wonderful.
This is Marley, and he's our only boy. And he will tell you the first thing they do to a boy monkey in the pet trade is they neuter him, which is a horrible thing to do because they live in a patriarchal society. So the daddies are supposed to be big and powerful. Now, because he was neutered, he's the size of a female, and he registers with his pheromones as an it. So he doesn't even smell masculine to the females. So the females can be aggressive towards him because they don't think he's big and strong enough to be listened to.
That's like a punishment.
It is very much
a punishment for life. And,
yes.
And actually, that for these monkeys, probably, he's the only male capuchin in the sanctuary, right?
Yes.
Well,
he's happy right now. That's her being happy.
Probably if he encountered other males, they would bully him. Kind of bully him because, he's smaller, he's not producing the hormones he should be if not neuter. And, in here I am saying some of the things that people is capable of doing just to have a new monkey, a new animal that people will like on Instagram, or like for what people will say if I show you my new monkey and my new thing. And it's very sad to see, one, that people can do this to an animal. In this case, probably in other species, not so much, like to neuter them or do their vasectomy. But in this case, it meant dooming a male position in a colony by doing this. Hybridizing animals, that's another thing that shouldn't be done at all, because every species needs to be that species, not intercross it to make another thing that probably it's going to bring more bad things than good things. And three, that I really appreciate that your sanctuary is providing a home for all these animals, because if not, most probably they would have ended up I don't know where, probably in another exotic house, like as exotic pet again with another owner, of in the wild, or euthanized. Who knows what could have happened?
Yeah, a lot of these animals, the people that the people that regulate animals in California have busy jobs, and if they can't find a home pretty quick, the animal is euthanized. So that is what you are facing now. Every one of these monkeys people bought thinking they were going to have it forever. They were going to be the animal's forever home. And by the time this baby was 9 months old, she was living here. And by the time this boy monkey was 5 years old, he was living here, neutered. Where people don't realize it's a 40-year commitment. And so we get calls all the time, well, we got him as a baby and we took him everywhere, and now he's big and he's biting people, and so we can't take him everywhere, and now he's sad, he's living in a cage all by himself. Well, you should have thought about that when he wasn't a baby. What are we going to do with this adult monkey when he becomes a little bigger and a little more aggressive? And somehow people forget to think about that part when they purchase this animal on the black market.
And that's something that makes me laugh sometimes, that people don't realize that you are taking an animal that's going to live 40 years, that's going to live 50, 60. Even when people buy animals like sulcata tortoises or Galapagos giant tortoises, Aldabra, that they are going to live probably more than you. And
yes,
that's something,
they'll be in your will.
For me, very funny, because you don't realize, you think that the animal, it is for when it is a baby, you want it when it is a baby, when it is easy to care for, when everything is perfect. But when it starts biting, when it starts uh, becoming a bit more aggressive because he's maturing, then you don't want it at all, and just give him to a sanctuary. That shouldn't be. Well, you need to start on not buying exotic pets.
I totally agree. I think you need to go to zoos and sanctuaries and educate yourself online, but we need to stop the pet trade. It's the 4th largest crime in the world.
Yeah, the fourth. So, Stacy, going back to
Yes.
baboons, what else can you tell us about baboons?
Oh, well, we were talking, this is not a baboon. This is a giant African porcupine. I can tell you that.
African crested porcupines, yeah. Well, tell me about them. Actually, this was for International Baboon Day, but I'm really liking that we are covering the entire sanctuary. I know my viewers will love this, I'm almost sure, and that you will receive the needed support. Yeah. And remember, for me, we can have events whenever you want. I am, if you tell me if you need something, I'm here. If you want to do more events, more interviews, more things like that, just tell me. I'm on. I'm going to do it.
Fantastic. Well, you know what? I will tell you, I have one more thing to show you really quick. Let's see if the trash pandas are up. Yes, they are. The raccoons, you guys have coatimundis, right? Don't you guys have coatimundis?
And we have raccoons too, crab-eating raccoons.
You do?
Yeah.
Fantastic. How lucky are you? Well, these guys are native animals, meaning they live in California year-round, and they are an animal that can be dangerous to people in the fact that they can get a roundworm called raccoon roundworm, that in a raccoon is just like a roundworm in your dog, but in a human being, they're wrestling right now. In a human being, that worm can go to your brain. It can be very dangerous. So I can't tell you, I know lots of people who are like, oh, I had raccoons growing up. We used to let them sleep in bed with us. Really not a good idea. Another wild animal shouldn't be in your bed. And when raccoons get big and powerful, they can really, I've seen a raccoon in a bear fight and the raccoon won. So you really don't want to tempt a raccoon. Anyways, we have them because one was injured and one was imprinted. And so they will spend their whole lives here. So now let's go back to this beautiful baboon and let's go walk her down the hill. Oh, you know what you haven't seen? I have one more really cool thing to show you. because
Of
we are
course.
talking about
I'm
National Baboon
interested.
Day, but maybe we have to have National Marmoset Day and National Kangaroo Day and National Lemur Day, right?
Exactly. Well, actually, World Lemur Day was around the corner. It was, I believe, in October 30th. Yeah,
I
that
missed it.
was
Well, our lemur gets treated special every day. That's the good news. So here, well, they're over here they're gonna lock this door for me. I'm gonna show you over here, which is where I was taking you. First of all, we have a lovely serval, which you were talking about, the
survival. Yeah.
Savannah cats. Monzo, kitty, meow meow, meow meow. It's really kind
Uh,
of hard to see him. He's in the shadows
oh,
right
yeah, over
over
there.
there. Yep, and we have a Bengal cat, which you talked about as well. And then we have some squirrel monkeys over here. One lost its eye to a bee sting, and one lost his fingers in a fight. And I can't go very far because I'm going to lose my signal, but I just want to show you some of my favorites. Believe it or not, people buy kangaroos as pets.
Oh my God.
So
These
I
are
have
what species? Red.
I have 3 red kangaroos, 1 female, 2 males. And I have the one in the front there is a Bennett's Wallaby, and they live in a mob. And the mama is a Jill, and the daddy is a Jack, and the baby is a Joey. They're a perfect little family.
Oh, they look so cute, you know. I have seen kangaroos and wallabies, and yeah, they are simply, you know, so chill and so, oh my God. And so you you have received over the years many of your animals came as babies, right? Like,
No,
uh,
actually, most of our animals come as adults.
wow.
So Chrissy came to us as an adult.
Oh, of course, in the movie industry. How much time did she perform in the movie industry?
She was, I think, about 6 months old in the movie Evan Almighty. That was the only movie she ever got to be part of. And she had 2 other baboons that she was being raised with at the same time. And they were all in it together. And that was the only thing. Her part wound up on the cutting room floor, so she didn't make it in the movie. But that's okay.
Evan Almighty. I have watched that movie like 1,000 times. I love it. I loved it because, you know, I always liked the animals, and that movie was like building Noah's Ark. And yeah, wow. Who would believe that Crazy was in that movie?
Steve,
Amazing.
Steve, what was Steve's name in Evan Almighty? What's the actor's name in Evan Almighty, you guys? Steve?
Steve Carell.
Steve Carell. Steve Carell
Yeah,
was the main
Steve
actor.
Carell.
Yeah. Okay, so now Chrissy's going to go in with her baby. This is where they live. And they live in a big giant house with a couple of, there's the baby right there waiting for mama to come in. And they've got a couple of heat houses and a bunch of swings. And they have a little 4-seater ride. And they've got a couple of this. So let me show you the most important thing that we can give these animals is right back here. So this is their heat at night. So this bucket has a big red heat bulb in it. And then they have this big thick box full of blankets and a door on it. It's actually 80 degrees in there on a cold, cold night so that they can stay warm.
Wow. But still, in case, you know, if the temperature is like that for a long time, they still stay there, or they can, or
Well,
they
if
go
it's,
inside where you know, where you showed me the place
yes.
it was.
So if it's really super cold, like snow cold, then we put them in the barn. But otherwise, they can stay out here. And then, you know, they like to be outside and they like to play all day on their swings. And then if they get cold fingers and toes, they just go up into that box and they get nice and warm. And they have their snacks in there. And then they come out and they play again. So it's just a place where they can go rewarm themselves. Like when we go skiing and you go into the lodge for hot chocolate.
Exactly like the same. Oh wow,
So
this is
Carrie's trying to get out before the baby gets her. She just barely made it.
oh my God, but the
The
baby
baby
has
wants to
like,
be out with Carrie.
he
So
wants to.
listen to the noise. I want you to hear the noise, okay?
Okay.
Listen. That noise was the baby unhappy that Carrie left. She wanted Carrie to stay and spend the night. So Chrissy's going to hug the baby and make her feel better.
Oh.
So the animals get very attached to their people as well. So if all of a sudden rules changed and somebody said, okay, you guys, you're not allowed to touch these animals anymore, it would be like your mother not being allowed to hug you anymore.
Wow. Well, of course, if you are the caretakers of the animals, you have to do it, but not the average visitor, because okay, you have studied, you have gotten the experience, and you have learned over the years and researched about it. But if a person, well, like me, came there and then just get the baby baboon, he will just bite me and scratch me because he doesn't know me, and because, well, it shouldn't be done. So
I
yeah.
always tell people that you treat the monkey the way you would want a stranger to treat you. You obviously wouldn't let a stranger come up and hug you and kiss you and touch you. You'd walk away. And so will the monkeys. And I also tell people that fingers taste like hot dogs. So keep your hot dogs safe and don't offer them to the animals' mouths.
uh, no, of course, yeah, mm, that's another thing that people, like, they like to, oh no, I want to, uh, not not bother, well, yeah, kind of bother the monkey to see what he does, and then when they get your finger, oh, forget about that finger, you'll never see it
Yeah,
again.
forget about that finger.
Oh
Well,
my
did
god.
you have fun today with Chrissy? Because she's about to have her dinner and go to bed.
Well, yes, Stacy, it is a pleasure. It was a pleasure to have you, to see all your animals. This was like a tour of the sanctuary, and I'm really excited to let my viewers see this. Yeah, people, well, you are going, I believe that you enjoyed, and please let me know in the comments, what do you think of this? What do you think of the several discussions we had in the interview, like the hybridization of animals, the exotic pet trade, the current laws regarding exotic pets, if they should be strengthened up, or if they should be kept like they are, or just relaxed, just say it in the comments. um I will give you the.
And I just have to apologize to your guests because
Oh yeah.
I'm so sorry. I have to apologize for the crazy camera work and a lot of this, but that's because we had a baby monkey trying to rip the camera out of our hands about half the time. So I apologize.
Stacy, I know that my viewers will love the fact that a monkey was just over you and the camera. It was like one of the best parts, having a monkey, and the people will just love it. I tell you, I expect many likes in this video too. People, you can like, you can subscribe. There are many videos. You can check out my latest interview with Carl Jones from the Mauritian Wildlife Foundation, and the work they do to help, and the work they have done to save several of Mauritius native fauna. Also, I will give you the link down below to the social media, the website, and the donation page of Animal Tracks Inc. Again, if you live in California and you are wanting to visit a place and see animals, there's Animal Tracks Inc. in Agua Dulce. And by the way, you are offering tours. Are you open, or?
No, so we're closed due to COVID, but we're also closed due to county issues. So there's some zoning issues we're going through. So the county won't let anybody visit until we fix that. So we're hoping in the next year to have those fixed. So for about a year, nobody will be able to come visit.
Well, then, people, 2021, you can hopefully, and I wish everything goes well with that county issues. You can visit Animal Tracks Inc. and, well, meet Chrissy, meet a lot of different animals. An amazing experience, really. It is virtual today, but I feel like I was there with you. Thanks a lot, Stacy. Also, happy International Baboon Day, and hope that everybody celebrates it. You can make a post on social media. You can share, if you have seen baboons, some images of them, and just enjoy.
Thank you, Fabrizio. Have a wonderful day and stay wild.
You too.